Given that the way that the Democratic candidates will tend to stake out positions and the Republican candidates stake out theirs, and you alluded to it, do you think it's more difficult for the Democrats to kind of come to the table and get that idea, the Democratic leaders and people that are running for office, to get the ideas you're talking about because of what they're supposedly representing?
I think the Democrats are trying to play both sides of the aisle, especially with Tom Perez in power right now. Is they're trying to play the corporate side and they're trying to play the political or the populist side. So what Tom Perez is doing now is standing in the middle and doing nothing. Either the Democratic Party is going to be a corporate party or the Democratic Party is going to be a people's party. And he refuses to make that choice. And that's what's going on right now. And that's why you see no movement on anything in the Democratic or the DNC on the federal level. You see no movement. There's no support. Their donations are abysmal because there's no message.
And no cohesive message where the right has a cohesive message. They can go in one day and say Democrats are obstructionist, and it is everywhere on every channel and everything, where the Democrats' message is all over the place and different people and saying different things and trying to court different things.
And obviously we have a lot of infighting in the party, in the progressive movement in general, which I consider myself part of, is we not only have the corporate Democrats and the progressive Democrats, which I consider the non-corporate Democrats, fighting amongst themselves. We also have the Green Party, Peace and Freedom Party, and the people who exited and are now not a member of any party. So we have those people out there as well. We need to build a big tent among progressives, among people on the left, and we're so busy slitting each other's throats and having drama online. Like you would be amazed at the stuff I've seen. Like for no reason, someone will come out and say, "Oh, so-and-so's campaign is such and such. Oh, they can never make it." And this is coming from another campaign that's a grassroots campaign and literally has as much chance as I do for actually getting elected. And they're actually attacking another campaign, another non-corporate grassroots campaign. So if we can't unify on that level, then we're never going to make it.
Well, I mean, and enthusiasm is a great thing. I mean, you think about all this enthusiasm that has been generated here in the grassroots on the left side of the political spectrum is a really good thing in totality. But these issues you're talking about are problems that need to be worked out within that
serious
enthusiasm.
We need to unify as a progressive movement. And what that means is that when we go to the ballot, we have the issues that we want, but we need to focus on one candidate in each race. And a lot of people will not do that because they don't want to cross party lines. So the minute me and Gail McLaughlin, who's running for lieutenant governor, first talked, I endorsed her. She endorsed me. She's a no party preference candidate. So I've gotten some flack for that from inside the party. I don't care because we need to unify. The issue that I see is some Democrats will never vote Green or never vote Peace and Freedom or never vote no party preference because they're Democrats and they're only going to vote Democratic. Green Party people will never vote Democratic because that's the quote-unquote corporatist party. So you have people, candidates like me, which there's tons of us right now running, corporate-free, running to take over the party and make it a working-class party. I'll vote for a Green. I'll vote for a Peace and Freedom. I'll vote for no party preference as long as their issues are correct.
And I wish the party would do that if they understood that, red districts, blood red districts like this one, where we almost need a purple candidate who would be, more likely than a Democratic candidate to win. And if there's no Democratic in the race, why throw just a name in the race? Why not just endorse the person that is somewhat likely to upset, and instead of less than likely or highly unlikely? So I agree with David on that point. I get a lot of flack. I get, not that I'm a saboteur or anything, but just like I like Green Party candidates, and I'm friends with some of those people in some of those areas, and truly, I just like people's passion when they come out and run and they have a big enough heart to enter into that sort of thing. And I have a great respect for it, so I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I don't see anything wrong with it either. I think that, in my personal view of it, I mean, I think that to me, there's so much. I hate to use the word evil because I don't think evil is the right word, but there's so much that I abhor about the right-wing Republican views on government and the purpose of government and the way government can help people's lives that I almost want to unify around a single message to combat that. And to me, it seems like a more centrist Democratic message is broader.
I will counter your argument with the 2016 primary. So whole north end of the state voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary when it came to the Democratic candidate. He won, hands down in an open primary. I personally know several Republicans, not Democrats, Republicans, who voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary. Guess who they voted for in the general?
Donald Trump.
I assume
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I'm told that's just crazy. No.
Yeah.
And I
people
can
say
see the
that.
numbers, and I say no.
And
there
the
are
reason,
more Republicans.
And let's circle back to the very beginning, to what I said at the beginning. The reason why is because we need an anti-corporate, anti-establishment candidate. No matter which party, that's the candidate that's going to win. When we didn't put our candidate on our side forward as an anti-corporate, anti-establishment, the populist candidate on the other side, who's basically corporate now, who's basically just in the same boat, but he was anti-establishment, off the cuff, good old boy type mentality, people went towards that because they didn't want to see the cut and dry status quo. We're going to keep doing the same thing.
But I just can't see how anybody could vote for Donald Trump who has a heart.
And that's
anybody else.
With all due respect, I think that's a weakness that a lot of people have. That they need to really think about all the different issues that face people's life and how little of a message the Democratic Party had in the general election.
They wanted to blow it up. They wanted to blow it up.
I couldn't do it.
That's what I'm saying. But how I couldn't imagine anybody with a heart and a mind would vote for Donald Trump.
They wanted to blow it up. They wanted to
else.
screw things up.
I know,
So
but
I have a theory about the primary election. So you basically had three candidates at the end because Trump had his cinched early.
yeah.
And then you had Bernie Sanders and you had Hillary Clinton. So I tell people that wanted everything to basically stay the same and stay quote unquote safe. They wanted to vote safe, voted Hillary. The people who wanted to blow the system up but cared about what happened the next day voted for Bernie. So they wanted to blow up like the hyper capitalist corporatist system, but they cared about what happened when the sun rose the next day. They wanted to see something better in place. That's the Bernie voters. Then you got the Trump voters. They wanted to blow everything up and they didn't care what happened.
And watch
the
it
next
burn.
day. Yeah. And then there's a lot of Trump voters that are low information voters, and that's not in their detriment. These are busy people. They have families and whatnot. They're at home. They're at work. They're taking care of their kids and raising their kids. They don't see Trump talking about a 40-foot tall wall and how Mexicans are rapists. They don't see that. They're at work. They're doing hard labor. I don't know if you guys, you said you were a member of the trades. I used to do hard labor. I used to pour concrete. When I got home from work after a 3-hour commute to Los Gatos from Lodi and came, all the way back, all I wanted to do is eat and go to sleep. And that was my life.
You don't want to really hear a lot of politics at that point either. And